good players over the years, and it's just been wasted after wasted after wasted. It's been bad draft picks. It's been bad personnel moves. And again, you give credit to Ryan Poles, and I genuinely like Ryan Poles. But at the same time, dude, you're the boss.
Yeah.
You know, stuff right now is going sideways. You have to fire some people. And so I do respect him for putting his foot down and firing Waldron, but Eberflus should not be far behind him.
Yeah.
I think if we go out there against Green Bay next week and lay another egg, dude, you're gone too.
Yeah.
So I just don't like. It's just so rough. To put it in context, we were like, I don't know, maybe 30% chance of playing the Commanders with Marcus Mariota. I do believe we would have won that.
Yeah.
Then if we would have beaten Arizona and New England like we were supposed to, we could be 7-2 right now.
Yeah.
7-2. Instead, we've lost 3 games that we should have won. 4-5. And you look at the schedule, like we've talked about it since the year started.
Gauntlet.
Now, the gauntlet starts now.
Yeah.
Like we're not in these freebie games anymore. The gauntlet starts now. You have 6 games against Green Bay, the Lions, Minnesota. You play Seattle and San Francisco. Good luck.
Yeah.
Do they win another game this year? I mean, are we looking down the barrel of a 4-13 team in year 1 of Caleb Williams?
Maybe not 4-13. Maybe we can sneak a couple of wins on there, but definitely not being an over 500 team and definitely not being a playoff team. I definitely think we can sneak a win against one of these teams. I at least have faith in that. But
well, the thing is I mean, division games, yes, they're tricky because division games are always just weird. I mean, the Browns beat the Ravens a couple weeks ago. You know, that's just a division thing. But I mean, the Lions look like the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let alone, I mean, maybe not the Chiefs, but one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Packers always kick our butt. Always kick our butt. And I'll tell you what, if they beat us next week in Chicago, we don't stand a chance in Green Bay week 18.
No.
Minnesota, they faltered a little bit, but Kevin O'Connell will still coach circles around Eberflus.
Yes.
You have San Francisco in San Francisco. Then you have Seattle in Chicago. But Seattle will be fighting for a playoff spot. I don't think the Bears will be in a position. We said at the beginning we thought that would be a fight for the wild card round.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bears are going to be playing with that same motivation.
No, they won't.
I don't think that they're going to be playing with the hopes of getting into the playoffs. So maybe Seattle, just off of their own, ambitions and goals, will have the edge in that game because at least they're fighting for something, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it's looking extremely bleak. And the fact that we're talking about, the draft in week 10, 11 is just disgusting. So
yeah.
I wanted to say one other thing before we move on. Well, I guess we'll spend a lot of episode talking about this, but I think the locker room is also broken.
Oh yeah, I was talking to one of my other friends. I mean, ever since the game against Washington, it just like flatlined. Like we've just been flat ever since then. So I totally agree. I think the locker room has definitely lost control, and it's definitely disappointing and sad to see. But I'm hoping maybe with, I'm not saying Thomas Brown is going to save all of our issues, but maybe when you have a breath, maybe when you remove the toxic ex or the toxic friend out of the group or the toxic person, maybe things will change. I mean, I saw some of the clips on Sunday of where Shane and Caleb were talking, and Caleb's just like,
when Shane's laughing on the sideline and Caleb's looking at him like,
bro, we're down like
we're losing to the Patriots.
Right? We're down like 17 right now. Like, what are you doing? So,
Jinx. No, but I also want to say, I mean, there's the whole thing with DJ Moore going on. DJ Moore has been weird all year.
Yeah, it's been
I ignored it in the
season.
Beginning, but it's getting to a point where I'm kind of thinking, dude, what's going on with DJ Moore?
Yeah.
Like, is he just, caught up on Justin Fields?
I don't know.
Is he, does he not get along with Caleb? And that would be really concerning considering they just gave him $100 million.
Max deal, yeah.
And I promise you this, DJ Moore, if you make the Bears decide you or Caleb, they're picking Caleb every day of the week, as they should. So that's weird. And then you have Jalen Johnson publicly saying that guys on the Bears aren't trying as hard as they should, aren't working as hard as they should.
Yeah.
It's just a mess right now. It is a gigantic mess.
Yeah.
And this is a disaster that only few franchises in the NFL could muster. You would never see this out of the Steelers.
No.
You'd never see this out of, the Bill Belichick Patriots or the 49ers or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we're in the Jets Browns tier of dysfunction.
You are, yeah.
And when you're in the same tier as the Jets and Browns, oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
So it's just very, the Bears are in a really bad spot right now. And it's arguably worse because I think they have good players on their roster.
Yeah.
In fact, I know they're good players. I've seen DJ Moore go off for 1,400 yards. I saw Caleb Williams in college, Roma Dunze. You know, I've seen this defense be really, really good. It's like a lack of cohesion, and it's a lack of team.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Very much
disappointing.
So. Very much.
And this is the story of being a Bears fan.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
Every time you get expectations, every time something happens that's good, well, it 180s, and they return to being the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
So, I mean, I don't even want to ask like how to fix it because I think you just have to see who the next head coach is. But
yeah.
I mean, when you have the organizational structure that the Bears do, you just put yourself so far behind the 8 ball. Is there anything you can do? Like, is this we're gonna find the right coach from being competent and relevant? I don't know. Also, our division's just awesome.
It was just strange because like nobody predicted this. I mean, the only team that I really was like, man, they're really gonna be good is Detroit. Yeah. Everyone else on that,
like Detroit.
Yeah, a couple of years ago,
been bad my whole life.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden they want to be good. But
that is, I guess, the hope is they brought in Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that was
Dan
the
Campbell.
savior, man.
Got Ben Johnson to be his offensive coordinator. They strung together 2 to 3 good drafts in a row.
Yeah.
Boom, they're the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So there is a way for the Bears to get out of this, and I think that they've already laid down a couple of the stepping stones to do so. But they have to find the right coach.
They do.
Do not cheap out on a head coach. I don't care if Ben Johnson shows any interest in this team at all. You give him a blank check, tell him to write down a number, and meet you at House Hall. I don't care what you have to pay Ben Johnson. I do not care.
Yeah.
They should have done that to Jim Harbaugh last offseason.
Yeah.
They should have said, Eberflus, get out of here. Jim Harbaugh, welcome to Chicago. He literally is a former Chicago Bear.
Yep.
He went to Michigan, right up north from Chicago. Okay, he's a Midwest guy.
Yep.
And look at how much he's improved the Chargers in half a season. They're 6-3 last year. Last year they were 5-12.
Yeah.
He's exceeded their win total from last year in half the time. So it's just disgusting. They need to show some competency and get the coach right because, oh my gosh, they have just missed. They fired Lovie Smith. Then it was Mark Trestman, John Fox, Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus.
Man.
Wow. Okay.
Shake my head.
Jeez Louise. All right. We've got some questions. I guess any positives that you're seeing now, Justin? Any green flags in the organization?
No, but somebody did just respond. Cardinals equals most talented team in the NFL.
I said it before the Cardinals game. I said the Cardinals offense is good.
Yeah,
and especially with Marvin Harrison becoming Marvin Harrison Jr. Like he's a stud. Trey McBride. I don't know if you saw he embarrassed Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
he did. That was pretty nice. But no, the Cardinals. I don't think I gave him enough credit before the year started. They're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon, he's got those boys rolling. And
he does.
Again, this is what the Bears lack. They lack a figure to kind of bring the whole team together.
Yep.
And get that cohesion going. Right? The Bears don't have anything close to that. No. And I've made fun of Jonathan Gannon, but he's done a good job with the Cardinals so far.
Yeah.
Lions and Cards, 2 best teams in the NFC. All right, let's be realistic, brother.
Lions, yes. Cardinals, I don't know.
Let's put down the. I can't say that on live television. Okay. Anyways,
he said yes. Most talented team on offense. Yes, that's correct.
All right. We got the Cardinals fan in the chat right now.
Yes, we do.
What are the positives right now? If you had to think of the glass as half full, even though the glass is probably 5% full, because you're a little dehydrated from the Bears losing all time. So the glass is like 5% full. But what are some of the positives right now going on?
I would say, dang, it's really hard to give positives. But I mean, if I had to give one, he didn't throw an interception on Sunday, right? That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because obviously. With the damage that was done by Shane in Sunday's game and pretty much every other game this season, There have been like some good aspects of it. I mean, that's really the biggest one. I mean, obviously, it wasn't like Drake May had a phenomenal game on Sunday anyway. But, I mean, yeah, that's probably the only positive I got, you know. No INTs, but he got sacked 9 times. I mean, that's
So, again, if we're looking for silver linings, I do love that Caleb Williams is our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I believe wholeheartedly that he is going to be the best quarterback we've ever had. And I think up until this point, now it's fair to say that he has not played his best.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play well yesterday against the Patriots. I'm sorry, Sunday against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fair to say.
Yeah.
But I still have unwavering faith that he is the best quarterback that we've ever had and that he will be a franchise quarterback.
I believe that.
You need good coaching to unlock that.
Yes, you do.
That's number one. Number two, I think another positive is the Bears have good players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not, the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
They have a few good players, but we have roster-wise,
Pro Bowl, and
personnel-wise, they have good players.
Yeah, yeah.
Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, our linebackers are good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though DJ Moore's having a weird year, I still think he's a good receiver. Roman Dunze, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
We have good players.
We do.
We have a bunch of weaknesses on the offensive line, but we have good players. So we'll start there. I also like Ryan Poles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chicago's a cool city. That's a positive.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many question marks with this team right now.
Yeah, there is.
And there's so many, I guess, weaknesses that we have to overcome. It's just it makes it scary.
It does make it scary.
It makes it scary. Okay. So I have another question for you, Justin.
Go ahead.
We're gonna get into.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is sad. This is really sad. So, if the Bears end up with another high draft pick, let's say pick 5, pick 6,
yeah,
should Ryan Poles lose his job?
No, I don't think he should.
Okay.
I don't think he should lose his job. Because I don't know. Maybe I'm too biased off of personality, but also at the same time, like, we're not gonna have a C.J. Stroud, a rookie year Houston season where we're gonna go off and be electric the first year. Yeah. Normally it doesn't happen. And another thing that, like, it's a sidebar that I'm noticing is, like, there's been this kind of debate about whether, some of the quarterbacks in the past, like Mahomes, sat out a year and watched under Alex Smith and other quarterbacks did the same. Yeah. So, I mean, definitely there's pros and cons to both, right? Let's say if we had like Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, there we go. Yeah. That's perfect. Let's say if he sat under Andy Dalton for a year and watched him, people would be mad that he's not playing. Yeah. But then he is playing and he's playing poorly and people are mad at it. And I'm like, the adjustment was there. I think I said in our preseason episode, like, it's going to take time for Caleb to mesh well against NFL defenders, corners, linemen. So seeing I don't
the pass rush. And yeah.
Now, if we are in year 2 or year 3 and we have a high draft pick, of course, because management, the general manager is the one who's making those selections and making those calls, not anybody else in the locker room. Yeah. So I'm not going to put my finger at Ryan Poles if we do get a high draft pick. We have a rookie quarterback. I don't think there will be anything. I didn't expect for us to even make the playoffs this year. Ooh, excuse me. And also at the same time, like, we have a long way to go, as we spoke before. It's going to take a lot more than just a quarterback and a good coach. It's going to take that and then some. At least with our franchise. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think firing Poles if we get another high draft pick is reasonable. Yeah. I mean, we use that high draft pick. I say we get a
offensive lineman.
Yeah. I was gonna say we get an offensive lineman.
Please. A center, a left tackle.
Yeah.
Some please.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, but what do you think?
No, I get what you're saying. And I guess I see both sides of the coin here. I see the side of, like you said, a lot of this is coaching problem, not so much a talent problem.
No.
This is a lot of, Caleb being a rookie and not, adapted to the NFL game yet. Mm-hmm. But I also think that if you're the general manager, you've allowed this roster to have huge holes.
Yeah.
And one of the things we've seen is like, okay, when the Lions rebuilt, what do? They built the foundation of their offensive line. Mm-hmm. They have a tremendous offensive line. Mm-hmm. Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this the other day, watching the Lions come back against the Texans. And I remember in 2021, when there was that whole debate on whether or not the Lions should take Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Bengals took Jamar Chase, and the Lions took Penei Sewell. And the Lions received, I guess, I think Jamar won first, but, the Lions fans and a lot of people in the media wanted Jamar Chase so bad.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase is an excellent, we all know, all-pro receiver. He's tremendous. Mm-hmm. Great pick. But I would argue that the best case scenario for the Lions was to get Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Because, again, the way that they built their team, they have a quarterback who's not very mobile. But guess what? It doesn't matter because he gets such good pass protection. Mm-hmm. They want to run the ball. Well, guess what? They can have the best rushing attack in the NFL because that offensive line is like, parting the Red Sea on every play for those guys to run. Like, I could hit half of those holes, right?
Right.
So I think that from a fundamental standpoint, they built the team wrong.
Yeah.
They built the team. They started with the skill guys, and they started with these high-end receivers, and they didn't invest in the offensive line enough.
No.
And I'll say this, too. I like Rome Odunze. I think Rome Odunze is a fine pick. Heck, I wanted him at pick 9. But I think if you look back, if the Bears could redo it, they probably wouldn't take Rome Odunze. They would probably take Talisi Fuaga, a tackle/guard from the Saints. Mm-hmm. The Bears would be a better team if they had that guy other than Rome. And that's a bold opinion, and I know that's hard to say. Mm-hmm. That is nothing against Rome. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great receiver. He's going to be a fine player for the Bears. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you need to protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
You need to open up rushing lanes. And so I think that, which is also weird because he's a former offensive lineman, I think they fundamentally built the team wrong by not investing more in the offensive line, by not going out and signing premier players at the position, by not, drafting guys. I know they drafted Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright's the only high investment that we've had in this offensive line.
Yeah.
Right. The rest of the line is patchwork, right? Mm-hmm. Tevin Jenkins is always hurt. Braxton Jones was like a 5th-round pick. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. So build up your offensive line, please. I think you have the quarterback. I think you have the quarterback, right? You got some good receivers. Build up this offensive line.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you have Bill Walsh as head coach, and I'm not defending Shane. Trust me, I'm not. But some of his plays could have been good.
Yeah.
We just won't know.
Nope.
Because the offensive line actively sabotaged. So I think that falls on Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the rest of it does fall on Shan Walxron, though, for not scheming guys open, not overcoming a lot of those things. So it's just, again, it's just when you have the lack of success that the Bears have had, there's blame to pass around.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely was.
Poles is not blameless. Waldron's certainly not blameless. Eberflus is not blameless.
No.
But no, I agree. I think give Ryan Poles the opportunity to right his wrongs because for everything wrong he's done, the whole reason we have Caleb Williams in the first place is because we absolutely fleeced the Panthers.
Yeah, we did.
Fleeced the Panthers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Alrighty, let's move forward into the gauntlet schedule. So next week, game view: Bears versus Packers.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, and we wanted to say something before we kind of get into our preview. Okay. Last week, we talked about how we had that bet going that Justin's mom would have to show, or whoever's mom would have to show up. Yeah. His mom couldn't make it, so we'll push that one back a little bit. But we do have another bet this week. This one's juicy, and this one you're not getting out of this one, buddy. So
don't worry, I'm not trying to.
So no, I know. So it's my turn to pick. We have Bears Packers in Chicago. The current betting line, Green Bay -6, which is kind of crazy because typically conventional betting wisdom will tell you get 3 points for being the home team. So Vegas is essentially telling us that the Packers are 9 points better than us right now.
Yep.
I get my first pick because you picked last week.
Yeah, I did.
And I will say the bet for this week is whoever loses has to do a TikTok dance to the song of the winner's choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to enjoy picking those out next week. Anyways,
Oh,
let me tell you, Justin, going into the Packers game, before I kind of give my breakdown on which side I'm picking, I don't want to talk about it, but I am going to talk about how the Packers have just owned the Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely owned the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad, honestly. Like, my whole life,
our whole lives,
I dread playing the Packers. I dread it. They are going to kick our butts every single year. And the second we think we have the advantage,
they come out of nowhere in
2018 week 1.
Yep.
How about the Chris Conti fourth down play?
Gosh.
How about any other time Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Brett Favre,
whoever
pulled anything out of their you-know-what
to
beat the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
No pun intended. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay? And, again, it just shows the complete divide in well-run franchises versus franchises that are run like the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
This game is in Chicago. If the Bears beat the Packers at all this year, it will be in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears right now are, like we've talked about for the first 30 minutes of the show, in deep you-know-what.
Yeah.
I cannot see the Bears coming out and winning this game.
No.
I think if you're Green Bay, you will have to keep pace in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love has been playing fine. I know he was a little hurt, but he's been playing fine. Josh Jacobs has been good. Your defense has been better.
Mm-hmm.
Give me as much as it pains me. Give me the Packers -6. This Bears team is too broken right now. They are too I guess divided to gather themselves and beat their biggest rival, the rival that has owned them for 20 years and counting.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought maybe the tides would change last year. No, Jordan Love beat us twice last year.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Packers -6. By the way, for those of you who don't understand how betting works, saying Packers -6 means the Packers have to win by 6 points or more.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears win, or if the Bears lose by 5 points or less, Justin would win. But in this instance, I think the Packers are going to win by 6 or more points. Justin, what say you?
I'm going to have to agree with you, man. I
Yeah.
I don't see this happening, like, you know. And I think for myself, like, maybe if it wasn't the Packers, I'd be like, yeah, we have a shot. But I mean, Mike's right. Green Bay has been kicking our butts since the end of time, and I don't think that's going to change now, especially with the offensive struggles that we've already had this year alone. And I think we'll definitely be better. I believe that Thomas Brown will definitely have some different plays up his sleeve, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be at home against a playoff contender, maybe even a Super Bowl contender against Green Bay and get a win. So, and I'm saying that, and we're at home, and I'm thinking like, oh, we've been good at home this year, but you saw what happened last Sunday against the Patriots. We pretty much laid out a goose egg. No, I think the last touchdown was in Washington that we scored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shot.
All right. I wanted to look this up while you were talking, and this is just even more depressing. So the Bears haven't beat the Packers since 2018. That was the year the Bears were really, really good. Before that, they hadn't beaten the Packers since 2015.
Wow.
Before that, they beat the Packers last in 2013. Before that, they beat the Packers last in 2010. So we have, since 2010, 4 wins against the Packers in 14 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That'll keep you up at night. And again, if you're Matty Eberflus, right now you have maybe a 0.001% chance of keeping your job.
Yeah.
The only way you do that is by beating the Packers. He has to beat Green Bay. If he doesn't beat Green Bay, the season's over.
Yeah.
He's getting fired. I would imagine the entire coaching staff gets reset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so frustrating because the Bears have made this same mistake multiple regimes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted Mitch with John Fox, who was about to get fired, wasted Mitch's rookie year. Then they gave him a new coach year 2. They drafted Justin Fields when Matt Nagy was about to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him a new coach in year 2. He didn't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're taking Caleb Williams, keeping the coach for year 1 of Caleb Williams, gonna fire him for you. It's like, do the McCaskies know what the definition of insanity is?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. It is so tiring.
Yeah.
I guess we could end it on somewhat of a positive note, though. I guess before we give our score predictions, you guys know we end the show like that always. Not that there are very many to pick from, Justin. But what is your favorite Bears versus Packers memory?
Of us actually winning?
Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to pick a win. You could pick a specific play or a moment or anything like that. What was your favorite Bears-Packers memory?
I mean, I'm always going to go with a win. So, what was that, 2018? That whole season was magical.
Yeah, it was.
And getting a win against the Packers. Because were we at home? Or no, we were away, right?
That was in Chicago.
That was in Chicago. That was in Chicago. To get a win at home. That was late in the season, right? Because I think we normally So
that clinched the NFC North.
Yes, it did. So yeah, that was probably the most recent favorite Packers Bears memory that I have. I just think it was sweet. I don't know if that'll ever happen again in my lifetime, but at least we have that.
Yeah, no. It's hard for me to pick a memory from before I was born, but I will say like the William Perry play against in the '85 season, that was magical. Where the Packers had put horse manure in the visiting locker room, and the Bears went out and kicked their butts. That was great. I'll always love it when the Packers and Bears play and the Bears win. Again, it's fairly infrequent, unfortunately. But I will point to the time in 2006 when the Bears won 26-0. Put a good little butt whooping on Brett Favre. The year they went to the Super Bowl. But no, it's kind of hard to think of a good Bears-Packers memory. Realistically.
Especially one that they actually won the game,
Yeah, I mean, like 2015, I believe that was on Thanksgiving that year. So I kind of remember that one. But again, we're going back in the archives, like 2013. This is just complete ownage, by the Bears. And I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. My favorite memory is probably 2018. It's the only time It's the only time that the Bears won and beat Green Bay, and I felt like they were better than Green Bay. Probably my whole life. That's the only time I've ever thought to myself, the Bears are better than Green Bay. And it's incredibly depressing. So I am taking the Packers to cover. That is my side. You are taking the Bears to cover. You got the second pick.
Unfortunately,
What would be your score prediction?
I would say the Bears are probably going to. Well, actually, I'll say this: the Packers are going to win 34-10. Like we're getting our
34-10.
Yeah, we're getting our butts whooped at this game. And I have no expectation of the Bears winning. And if they do win, Thomas Brown's going to be signed for the rest of the season. He's going to be our OC for next year.
Caleb Williams goes from bust to greatest quarterback ever. That's how.
It's going to take a miracle in order for this to even be a close game. I think Green Bay is going to get off to a strong start. They're going to come in. They're going to be dominant the whole game. And the Bears will continue to struggle unless Thomas Brown knows the magical play to unlock everyone on our offense. Which
I think the only way the Bears win is if they clone Jordan Love. They give him a doppelganger who is terrible at football.
Sure, yeah.
And then the Bears, we program him to throw interceptions, and then maybe the Bears win by a field goal. That's maybe my thought.
But
outside of that, I'm with you. I'm going to go 27-10 Green Bay. I think this is going to be a good old-fashioned beatdown. I think the Packers are going to put belt to butt, and it's going to be ugly. So if you're a Bears fan, you know what I'm saying? I'm never going to advise. I really shouldn't advise this, but if you're a Bears fan, just take care of your mental health.
Watch
the Food Network.
Watch another game on Sunday. Just don't watch Bears versus Packers because it's pointless.
HGTV, they got some good shows. Property Brothers is always a go-to for me. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want to watch, listen, there is no shame in skipping this game if you're a Bears fan. We won't because that's just who we are.
Right.
We have to provide you guys content. But
yes.
No, if you're a Bears fan, just take the day off. You don't have to be a Bears fan on Sunday. It's okay. Nobody will take away your fandom card. But
no.
All right, that's our episode for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys in next week's episode. Peace out.
See ya.